Hey guys, I'm so stoked because my Powell Peralta Bones Brigade Series 14 decks just arrived. Let's open the box and check them out. Alright. Let's see. Wait a second, what?
That's not a skateboard.
Neighborhood daredevils.
We're gonna do a little adjusting here.
Right here on.
Now this is a skateboard.
Alright, this is more like it. Let's take a closer look at these beauties. So here they are, straight from the Blacklight series. Let's pull them out and see what numbers we got. So here is the sheet. And Mullen is 322 out of 2,500. So not a great number, but still a relatively low number. All right, Hawk, we got 1,048 out of 5,000. So nothing too unique about the, or special about the serial numbers, but still pretty cool that they are numbered. And so yeah, the Hawk just looks amazing. Now I'm not sure if these are supposed to look like they're already kind of reacting to a black light as more of like a visual effect, or if they're designed to actually kind of have the colors pop under a black light. Luckily, I do have several black lights from a party my daughter had several years ago, and I'm going to set those up and we'll see how these things react to them. Wow, these really do look different under the black light. They look really cool. I was surprised though that it was just the green and the pink that really pop. I thought maybe they'd have something in the white to have it kind of glow as well. But it's really just the pink and the green that really stand out. But either way, these things are really cool. My YouTube channel, The Nostalgic Neighborhood, isn't only about skateboarding. I actually cover quite a few different topics. And for those of you who may have stumbled upon this video who don't have a background in skateboarding, let me share a little bit of background. Powell Peralta was a major player in the 80s skateboarding scene, and they pretty much created the skate video genre with their Bones Brigade videos. These videos were wildly popular and have been definitive for a whole generation of skaters. In 2012, they released a documentary called Bones Brigade, an Autobiography, which delved into the story of the Bones Brigade skaters, the brand, and then the ups and downs of the skateboarding's popularity in pop culture. It was a really big hit, and you can stream it on platforms like Amazon Prime today. And even if you're not really into skateboarding, it's still a fun video to watch. My wife watched it with me a few years back, and she was really engaged the whole time. She really connected with the Rodney Mullen interviews and just really enjoyed his perspective on life. To celebrate the documentary, they launched a bunch of merchandise, including reissues of their classic 80s skateboards. And this started a whole series of decks that have been released approximately once a year. And then here we are at Series 14, the Blacklight series. Last year I picked up a Rodney Mullen Series 13 deck, which I've got hanging on the wall over here. And I actually had a Rodney Mullen deck back in the day. And here it is. I don't have the deck anymore, but I do have a couple of photos. So this is the deck itself. It was a lime green color. And then I've got the top with the grip tape and the blue, the ripper on there. And this was a really cool deck, but I ended up selling it about 25 years ago on eBay. I really regret that decision, but what are you going to do? I've been a huge Rodney Mullen fan since way back in the day, and I shared a bit more of the story in the video I made about the Steve size deck that I set up and took up to the skate park. But in a nutshell, I got to see Rodney skate at a demo in 1989, and I went there with one of my buddies, and my mom came along and she took a whole bunch of pictures. And I won't rehash the whole thing. You can go watch more detail in that other video. But we got to see Rodney skate up close. I got to meet him. I got to get his autograph and some postcards and stuff like that. And he was super friendly, a little bit shy, but super friendly, really awesome and super inspiring. And then I went home and ordered that green Mullen deck that I had back in the day and was really excited about it, and then realized, man, it's a lot harder than he ever made it look. And I didn't really progress that much on the freestyle deck. So that's why it stayed so nice looking when I ended up letting it go. And then I had this Tony Hawk Mini deck back in the day, and it was one of the Bonite decks, and I skated it, and it's pretty thrashed up and in pretty terrible shape even back then. And at one point I tried to restore it with some spray paint and ink pens and whatnot, and it kind of turned out pretty terrible. but whatever. But yeah, this new one here, this is the first Tony Hawk deck I've had since this one, probably around 1986 or 87 or something like that. So I'm pretty excited to have a new Tony Hawk after all those years. So I never saw Tony Hawk skate in person back in the day, and I never had the chance to get his autograph like I did some of the other skaters, but I have seen him skate up close a couple times in the last 10 years or so. About 8 years ago, Tony Hawk came to St. Louis with his Birdhouse team for a demo, and it was at a street course, and Kevin Staub was with them, and Kevin's not a street skater, and so he kind of sat on the sidelines and didn't really skate, and we had a chance to, my buddy and I, chat with Kevin and get to know him a little bit, and he was just so friendly and super cool. But it was pretty wild hanging out with Kevin, watching Tony skate, and it was pretty surreal to cheer Tony on alongside of one of his best friends. And then Eddie Alguera put on a Legends demo at Palm Springs Skate Park a few years back, and a bunch of the legendary skaters, including Tony Hawk, were there. And I could make probably a couple of videos on that experience. It was such a fun trip. And so I did get to see Tony skate up close, and I got some really great photos and a little bit of video too. So I'm not going to go into the dimensions and all the details about the concave and the length of the nose and all that kind of stuff, but I'll put those up on the screen if you're interested in checking those out. Otherwise, all the details are on the Bones Brigade website. So there you have it, the Powell Peralta Bones Brigade Series 14, Rodney Mullen and Tony Hawk decks. They really take me back to my skateboarding days when I was a teenager, and it's great to see these iconic designs in a new light. I'm glad I could share this unboxing experience with you all. It's not just about the decks themselves, but the nostalgia, the memories they bring back, and the history that they represent. Whether you're a skateboarder, a collector, or just someone who appreciates the 80s culture, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please feel free to share your own skateboarding memories in the comments section below. And until next time, stay rad and keep rolling.